Today, Aloo Gobi, really simple dish using 7 everyday spices and cauliflower and potatoes. Really simple. I'm going to add some extra ingredients to this recipe as well. I've got some edamame beans just to increase, add some protein to the dish, and I'm going to put some fresh tomatoes in as well. The actual recipe is in my handbook, and the handbook is in the link in bio. But this is just to also show you that once you learn the simple techniques of using the spices, that you can adapt recipes as well. Like I'm doing cauliflower and potato, you could do this using the same method that I'm using with even broccoli and sweet potato, so you can really nicely change it up as well. So I'm going to start by pouring in, or pouring, not pouring in, sorry. I need 2 tablespoons, approximately 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use your oil of choice, but for health reasons and benefits, I love to use olive oil, like an extra virgin one. And I'm quite simply just bought this from um, Aldi. So yeah, it's not like it's an expensive choice either. So I've just added the oil. The oil's gently warming up. I don't want the oil to get really hot because what that's going to do is burn my seeds. I'm going to start by adding a teaspoon of cumin seeds. So as the oil heats up, okay. And then you see if the oil was really hot and I'd added the seeds in, the seeds would burn. And that's one thing we don't want to do. We want to allow the seeds to, as it touches the oil, to then start to release its aromas and its oils and its beautiful aroma. So now they're sizzling. Okay, I'll just swirl the pan just so that the heat distributes evenly. Okay, so now as the seeds are sizzling, I'm now going to go in with my potatoes. So I kept the skin on, and they're fairly small potatoes so that they'll cook quite quickly as well. You can do this with, um, you can have the potatoes pre-cooked as well. So just going to add the potatoes, and so you can use baked potatoes. I've left the skin on. You can take the skin off. So many different um, ways you can cook this. However, if you've just joined, thank you. And if you're watching the replay, so I've heated the oil, and to the oil, as the oil started to heat, I added the cumin seeds. So I didn't add the cumin seeds to like really hot oil, as you might sometimes see sometimes, because you don't want to burn the seeds. You don't want to be burning the cumin seeds. So once the um, cumin seeds start to sizzle, what they're doing then is they're releasing their aroma and their natural oils. And oh, if you've cooked with cumin seeds before, you'll know that it is an absolutely lovely aroma. Okay, so now just give it a little shake. And like I said, you could do this with cooked um, potatoes as well. The next thing we're going to add is I've got quite a large clove of garlic. So I'll add the clove of garlic and mix that in. And again, my temperature is on medium to low, so not a high, because I don't want this like garlic and the spices to burn either. So just give that a quick stir through. And that is smelling so good so far. All right, so spread that out. I'm also now going to add just a tiny drop of water, quick little drop of water, drizzle that around, pop the lid on, and then I'm just going to let it just gently cook for just a minute or so, not too long, so that I can just show you the 7 spices that I like to cook with. So here I've already just used the cumin seeds, and these are mustard seeds. I won't be using mustard seeds today, but just going to show you. And they're also, like cumin seeds, used at the beginning of cooking. Now, in once the vegetables have added, let's say you're doing a sauce or something, that's when you go in with the dried and the ground spices. So this is ground coriander, gives a really lovely floral flavor. Now this is the cumin seeds that I have, but these are in ground form and they give an earthy flavor. We've got turmeric here, and I'm just explaining this in the most simplest form. Turmeric gives you vibrant color. It's also very good, got lots of healing properties in there as well for your health. And then for heat, so they're all really good for flavor, for color, and then for heat, for that spice heat, we've got chili powder. If you want to leave out the chili powder or because you don't want it too spicy, you can do so. If you can get hold of some Kashmiri chili powder, you can do that as well because that's not as much heat in there. So it's a mild chili powder. And this is a blend of whole spices together, which is garam masala. Garam meaning warming, and the warming spices in there are things like peppercorns, dried ginger, cloves. They are warming, and then there's cardamom in there as well, and cinnamon for the heat to balance it all out. Now I'm going to go in with my flour. Oops, didn't mean to make a move. But add my cauliflower. I've got it. So the cauliflower was cut into small florets as well. I'm going to give that a mix through like that. I'll give it a really good mix through. So now the cauliflower is getting coated in the garlic, in the cumin seeds. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go in with the rest of the spices. So let me just start off with, I don't see salt as a spice, but a seasoning. So this brings out the flavor of the spices. And this is ground coriander. Ground coriander is for flavor. Lovely, beautiful, florally flavors. So that's not going to give you that heat. It's just giving you the flavor. Then I've already got whole cumin seeds. So I'm only going to put in some ground cumin, and that gives extra depth of a little bit of extra earthy flavors to that. Now for some color, I've got turmeric. So that was just half a teaspoon. And for the heat, for the spice, I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of chili pepper. Let me give that a mix through. And so what I find is you don't want to be adding the dried spices early on before you actually put your ingredients in. Otherwise, they are quite easily prone to burn as well. Now to this, once I've got everything mixed in, I'm going to add some water to it, and just a little bit, not so much. And but most what I'm trying to do here is get all those spices coated into uh, the potato and the cauliflower. So you can also do this, like I said earlier as well. You can do this with broccoli as well. Try it with broccoli if you like broccoli. Broccoli and spice is really nice. Um, okay, I've got a bit of a got some leaf in there as well. Let me add a little bit extra water. Pull that through. And then that can kind of like pick away. And that's going to kind of like evaporate. And it'll still be a drier color. If you wanted to this as a like with some extra sauce in there, what you could then do is add some tomatoes into that as well, like some tomato passata or tin tomatoes. This is just your classic now aloo gobi, really simply made, and now that's just going to cook um, for about 10 minutes or so. But I'm just going to change it up a little bit today as well. I've got some edamame beans. We all want to add extra little bit of protein to our dishes, and edamame beans are really nice. Well, I always have some in my freezer, so they're really good little extra to add. And then I've got some tomatoes that I'm going to just chop and add at the end. But you could also add tin tomato as well if you wanted some sauce to this as well. So adding extra flavor as well. Now here, what I've got here, because I want to use up the whole vegetable. I don't really, the cauliflower, I don't want to really waste much of it as well. So I've got some of the um, leaves, and they will give nice little bit of flavor as well. So I'm going to add these to the pan now, mix them all in, and just allow that to cook. Actually, that looks really nice, doesn't it? So that'll cook really nicely. And there you go. And now add my dummy beans, and then everything can just cook slowly. These were frozen, so you could also add peas or sweet corn as well. And then I'll just now allow that to cook. Looks lovely. So this is really great. This is really great as a side, or you also have it as a main with a rice dish. In I have a handbook with the 7 everyday spices. If you're a beginner here, you want to learn how to cook Indian dishes, just start off with these 7 everyday spices. So you've got your cumin seeds, your mustard seeds, ground coriander, ground cumin, turmeric, chili powder, and garam masala. So you don't really need to have like so many different spices. And in the handbook, there's 11 recipes. Aloo Gobi is one of those, as well as you've got a masala based sauce. So you could cook lots of different variations of curries using the masala based sauce. There's chapati recipe, there's plain rice, but as well as a madar rice, which is like a pilau rice, as well as aloo gobi. You got spinach, potato, and pea. So really great little handbook for you. You can just, it's all digital, so you just download it, and the recipes are just there for you. Then you just go and get these spices, some supermarket ingredients, or some yeah, fresh ingredients, and you're ready to go to start cooking these beautiful dishes that are using humble ingredients, and the recipes are really easy to follow. Each of the recipe also has a link to a recipe video as well, so you can also kind of like visually see the recipes. And this here, what I'm making today, will be as a replay on my channel as well. But thank you for joining me today. I come on live every Monday and make a dish to show you, and then it does go on to my as a read as well as a replay. And I'm just really here to show you, if you're a beginner, how to cook really simple, beautiful Indian dishes using 7 spices and easy to follow recipes. So the cauliflower and potatoes are going to take about another 5 to 10 minutes to cook. And then you can just check using a knife just to see if it's cooked or not. And then just let them cook away. Simmer them here on the stove. Alternatively, this is really great as well if you want to put it into the oven as well, and roast this like this as well. So you can have like a roasted or baked aloo gobi and all those, then you can just go off and do something else as well. This is great. Like I said, it says it's great as a side. You can have it with some rice, you can have it with some naan, some chapatis. Yeah, really great dish, really great. Also, like if you've got some leftovers as well, really good the next day. As you can imagine, all those flavors are going to marinate into the potato and the cauliflower, and then afterwards, the following few days, it's actually really delicious as well. You can then either also eat it at room temperature as well, and have it part of your lunch, have it part of a salad as well. So lots of great options with this really simple dish. Give it another whirl through. So what I did here with this, heated the oil. As the oil was heating up, I did cumin seeds. And once the cumin seeds started to sizzle, I added the potatoes. And then two potatoes, I did garlic, let that all cook through just for a minute or so, not long. Then I went in with the dried spices, the everyday dried spices from my tin. So I've got ground coriander, ground cumin, turmeric, chili powder, and garam masala, and some salt as well. Don't forget the salt brings out the flavor. And then extras to this, I did with some edamame beans, just and you could also put some peas in as well. Now as it's coming to the end, I'm going to add some fresh tomatoes and they're just going to soften through and then I'm just going to allow that to cook gently away. There you go. And we're going to enjoy that. I'm going to make some rice, some plain rice, and that's going to go really nicely with the plain rice as well. But thank you for joining me and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye. Oops.